Well, we salute the effort you are doing, but you always deliver bad news. Tell us the bad news.
Well, if you're referring to first yung the results of the proficiency test based on the assessments, it's a grade 6, a 3, 6, 10, and 12. I think that should be contextualized because when we talk about the proficiency rate, wherein I think EDCOM2 mentioned that based on assessment reports, from grade 3 to 12, we start at 30% proficiency, but by grade 12, we're down to
1%.
0.5%
Yeah.
5%.
proficiency. But to contextualize it, when you take a look at the years when this was taken, example, the ELNA for grade 3, where we scored 30%, that was taken 2024 or 2023 to 2024. That means they entered grade 1 about 2020 to 2021. And if you recall, that was after all the issue came up about the 2018 PISA result kung saan halos last place tayo. Because of that, reforms were instituted. And primary in this reform was really the reduction of competencies and reduction of subjects. And nakita natin, 30% proficiency. But when you compare the syempre sa grade 12, no, that was taken in 2024, 0.5%, di ba? Pero bilangin mo naman, you have to go back 10 years siguro when they were in grade 3.
Okay.
And at that time, wala pa yung reforms.
So,
So-
ibig sabihin, may improvement ng nakikita, bahagya, dun sa
Nakikita
grade
natin.
3.
Yes, hita natin, the reforms may be working. But you have to take a look at this with the latest survey released yesterday by the PIDS, the PIDS,
Yes.
wherein they took a look at the new curriculum of senior high school, buong K to 12, wherein sa grades 1, 2, 3, binawasan natin ang subjects because dati, under the K to 12 program, by the time you reach grade 3, you had about 9 subjects. But after the reforms, binawasan na po natin yan to maximum of 6 subjects by grade 3. 5 to 6. So, na-decongest yung curriculum. It became easy, focus na siya on reading comprehension, mathematics, and by grade 3, may science na. And even the load of teachers should have improved because nabawasan natin ang subjects. And makita natin, there was based on the study, malaki yung improvement nung reduce yung subjects. Kasama na rin yung sa senior high school. Because currently sa senior high school, we have 15 core and 16 electives. This year, nag-pilot na sila ng bagong curriculum, the one that we were always mentioning before, na binaba na natin to 5 core subjects na lang.
Okay.
And they also took a look at that, nag-improve na rin. Of course, mas malaking improvement lagi do sa Key Stage 1, grades 1 to 3, kasi bago pa lang naman yung senior high school new curriculum, but there's a marked increase of improvement already. So, I guess, tama naman, alam natin kung na hindi maganda yung performance, but if we contextualize it, nakikita natin that the reforms after 2020 or 2019, they seem to be working.
Okay.
And just have to hone on this, again, focus on this and make sure that we fix the little issues.
So you're saying we're not seeing the good impact that's happening, even if it's only slight. But just the same, Congressman, a disturbing study also by the PIDS about violence in the home and its effect on the learning and the performance of students in school. So
Yes.
how do we address this?
Again, that has been identified. Actually, matagal na natin alam yung issue na ito. And we all know that really, the problem is not really just in the school, but it goes back to the neighborhood, the community, the homes. If you remember, I think in one of my guestings with you also, na-mention ko na meron tayong a lifelong learning bill that we wanted to pass so that local governments can now also focus on families. Meaning, pwede na silang gumawa ng mga programs para maturuan yung yung mga magulang first on pwedeng literacy. Second, pwede yung to discuss these problems. And that bill has already passed into law. So meron na tayong Lifelong Learning Act wherein we allow the local government units to use all their different funds, whether SCF, regular funds, the GAD funds, in order to be able to introduce programs for those individuals out of school already, even beyond even senior citizens. Kasi talagang yung problema nag-uumpisa talaga, alam natin, sa community, sa bahay. Because nandun talaga yung unang training ng bata about good manners and right conduct. Together with this, if you recall, we also passed in 2020 the new GMRC law, wherein we mandated the Department of Education to reintroduce the subject good manners and right conduct as a subject from grades 1 to 6. So hopefully, with these twin things, we will be able to assist the parents, guide them properly, tell them kung ano yung problema sa ano yung nadaanan nila, and kung paano makatulong ang gobyerno, kasi talagang it's a whole of community approach. That is why tama rin yung sa DSWD because they have some funding on that. But I think now with the new education laws, we can also use this in order to help our families.
Okay. So on the EDCOM website, Congressman Roman, no, may mga teaser kung anong lalabas dun sa EDCOM report come Monday, January 26. One of the things though na finlag nila is yung sustainability nitong K-10 or yung matatag curriculum that you're saying. Sabi nga, sustainable gains were actually seen, no, sa grade 2 students. Pero finlag nila yung risks sa mga teachers naman, that they had a hard time adjusting, although mas maganda nga yung curriculum and they're able to connect with their students more. What are we doing to address naman on the teacher side, on the educator side, to help them, adjust and improve their efficiency?
Yes. If you recall, meron din tayong bagong NEAP, the National Educators Academy of the Philippines. Sila actually ang tumutulong sa teacher training, meaning talagang regular improvement, talaga leveling up of teachers, including pedagogical approaches. Kasi yung pagturo, katulad example, tama yung nabanggit ninyo, yung curriculum, binawasan natin ang competencies, binawasan rin natin ang subjects, but according to the Department of Education in the committee meeting yesterday, isa sa issues pa rin nila, because na-flag ng PIDS yan, yung PIDS, they're saying that, sabi ng teachers, you reduce the number of subjects, pero per subject reduced, yung dating 3 subject, pinagsama nyo lahat ng competencies in 1 subject. So pareho lang. Yun yung point ng ibang teachers based on the PIDS study. Sabi ng DepEd, they've already encountered that issue, and it's really partly pedagogical and partly sub-content issue, kasi meron competency na may mention. Some teachers still believe na yung 1 competency na yun, kailangan pa rin yung maturo ng 3 competencies. Sabi ng DepEd, hindi na. But then, they recognize the fact that maybe kulang yung information, kulang yung communication nila on how to approach or teach each of these competencies. We don't have to go to yung dating 3-5 competencies na hindi naman raw nila kinolapse lang into 1. There was a reason for that, and it's really a matter of communicating it properly with the teachers. And DepEd, according to them yesterday, they know the problem, they're on top of it, and they will start consulting again and communicating with the teachers.
With the budget passed for 2026, Congressman, happy ba kayo sa nakuha? Kasi syempre maraming argument dyan, hindi naman daw yan yung full basic education budget, yada-yada. The arguments there. But are we gonna see more classrooms, more teachers, para mabawasan na yung 3 shifts, ganyan?
Yes. Actually, everyone is happy with the budget that was given. Talagang it's the biggest budget. But I always remind everybody na the budget is just one component. Kasi yung importante, yung absorptive capacity rin ng ating agencies. Example, when you talk about teachers, I think EDCOM2 flagged an issue really is that, and this was also flagged by PIDS, maaaring may teachers ka sa junior high school kasi, may specialized classes na doon, di ba? Meaning, the teacher really specialized on a certain subject. Yun yung tinuturo niya dapat. Pero about 60 to 70% of teachers in this level actually are teaching subjects that they did not that they were not trained, that they did not get the proper training during their college years. May ano rin, may mismatch on the subject. So it's not a matter of having just simply having a bigger budget and hiring teachers, because kung hindi rin tama yung subject na tinuturo niya, hindi rin mali-level up o mati-train for the new approaches, for the new content, baliwala rin. So that's one example. The second example is classroom shortage. Let's face reality, isang problema naman talaga is buildable space. So kahit may pondo, wala namang buildable space, how will you be able to build more classrooms? That is why ang sagot namin dyan is the voucher system, the expansion of the voucher system from the current grade 7 to 10, then 11 and 12, to the full complement of K to 6 na tayo. But let us let us rationalize it. Hindi naman lahat ng private schools automatic pwede makakuha ng voucher. Kailangan, una, may quality. And that quality will be tested by assessment exams on private schools who wish to avail of vouchers. Pangalawa, dapat the original intent, which congested ang isang DepEd school, dapat may malapit na quality private school. That is where we are able to enroll them. Sa teachers pala, meron na rin naman recommendation ng EDCOM 2 doon. And that is first, yung sa NEA for leveling up. Kasi kailangan naman ng continuing education talaga, even for teachers, because there are new approaches, may bagong substance or content that they should know. And kung may issue sila, that should be threshed out by NEA. Plus, we have already recommended to the higher education, to CHED, na kailangan na rin yung courses in college, medyo palawakin na natin. Hindi naman pwedeng too general. Because at one point, we need teachers who specialize in certain subjects.
Congressman, pagdating naman po doon sa grading system, PIDS suggests that the current 75% passing rate is too high daw. But there are also concerns that grade transmutation does more harm than good, in a sense na yung mga hindi naman talaga pasado, pumapasa pa rin kahit nabagsak naman daw talaga sila. How do we find the right balance there, Congressman?
Sa akin, Sean, again, that's an issue, but that's not a major issue. That there is a bigger issue than the grading system. And the bigger issue really is because of the congested curriculum that we have, that we are now trying to trim down. Sa totoo, marami talagang estudyante marunong magbasa, pero hindi sila grade level ready. Meaning, they can be in grade 7, pero yung reading comprehension nila probably is in grade 3. So, and that is the result of the NAT, the ELNA, di ba? Yun ang makikita mo eh. Yung not proficient, medyo mataas pa talaga. So, sa akin, before we trouble ourselves with the grading system, ang pinaka-importante talaga is to, first of all, may aral program tayo ngayon, but we should, again, adjust that. Kasi what is the use of the aral program, which is an hour after the regular classes, when, kunyari, you have a grade 5 student, reading comprehension, pero yung grade level readiness niya for reading comprehension is grade 1. Pero he or she is in that grade 5 class. So papaupuin mo siya doon ng 50 minutes, 55 minutes na hindi niya naintindihan. I think that is torture eh. Hindi pa yun. Papastay mo pa siya ng 1 hour after the regular classes para turuan, para makakatch up siya. Ang sinasabi ko, maybe it is time to be more creative and probably we have naman yung beginning of school year assessment. Pag na-determine natin doon na merong hindi grade level ready, we should make a class for yung grade level sila and help them na maka-catch up sila without any retention policy first. Meaning, hindi man nila kasalanan.
Okay.
It was system. But then, kailangan natin sila pahabulin during the regular class hours. I think that is the bigger issue really is for DepEd to decide ano ang gagawin natin dun sa yung nasampulan nung EDCOM 2 na 70% hindi proficient. Yung more than 90% hindi proficient. Hindi sapat talaga yung 1 hour later or let's think of retaining them. Kasi one issue talaga is if we start retaining students na hindi naman nila kasalanan what happened, ang problema nga natin is the out-of-school youth also, the numbers are growing.
Yeah.
So make it to, we have to help them within the academic, within the school itself. Within
All
the
right.
system.
One final question for you, Congressman. Your assessment for the K-12 program, ano pa bang pwedeng ma-improve?
Yes, sa akin I think the direction is towards the right direction na bawasan natin ang subjects, focusing on functional literacy, meaning reading comprehension, grade level appropriate, mathematics, science, GMRC. The rest, katulad sa grades 11 and 12, siguro mas maraming electives na lang. Kasi kunyari, at least you have the 5 core subjects which is really focused on reading comprehension, math, science. Yung iba electives na para kung yung bata, yung learner, ang hilig niya, history. Let's have various history electives. So mahone siya doon. Kung gusto niya, music. Let's try to have more music electives. Kung mathematics, more mathematics. Pero at least, gusto ng bata yung pinapasukan. Kasi elective niya yun eh. So gusto niya yung subject na interested siya at he or she will develop himself or herself much better than pino-force natin ng mga subjects na mandatory na nakita natin, hindi naman naging effective.
All right, so I guess we just have to be patient. It's working, but it will take time. So we thank you so
Yes.
much for talking to us, Congressman Roman Romo.